Howdy folks, Tetsu here, down in the lower tiers, where the power's low, but the battles are fierce. And today we're moving on to match 8 of round 1, between BT89 and an individual who from this point on I shall call T, because I have no idea how to pronounce that. So, nothing really to report at the beginning of this. Yeah, not really. I am working on a few things. I'm hoping to start adding animations soon to the videos. Something I'll probably start doing around round 2 so I can actually build up a portfolio of stuff. But it's going to be just stuff I've put together, so I don't want you to get your hopes up and think it's going to be like 3D, picturesque animation. It's just going to be stuff that I've made, and I happen to like 2D animation, so other than that, yeah, not really much else. Like I said early on, and I really want to do some deep dives into the Pokemon, want to do some interviews, and that's really about it. It's just trying to get in touch with people is the issue. But what else? No, can't think of anything. From this point forward, we're just going to go straight into it. I will hopefully not have to do like 2 individual 30 to 40 minute videos, because the entirety of CD IJK 21s and Dracul Mihawks, actually forgot it for a second. The majority of their game was their match. Yeah. Hopefully I can avoid that, but I'm also not gonna hold my breath, because, I want to do as decently for each individual game as I possibly can, so I guess we shall see. Anyway, after all that, let us begin. Play. And we shall start with the lead metagame. My favorite. Let's see. Tentacool from BT89 and an Ivysaur from T. Okay, so a little bit of information here, and I got this from Claire de Lune. One of the starting set, because when the tournament started, there wasn't really a whole lot of resources for the tier. Obviously, it's pretty new, all things considered. Well, relatively new in comparison to RBY stuff, I suppose. But one of the sample teams they have is actually Ivysaur, and at this point, by the time they've gotten to round 6, they've unilaterally decided that Ivysaur is just a terrible lead. But for right now, here in the first and possibly second round, people are going to be using it. We have seen Ivysaur leads before, but enough about that. Let's actually get into the gritty here and talk about what we're seeing right now. So, what about the Pokemon? Well, you know them, you love them. Tentacool, considered the best lead within 7U. It's got quite a bit going for it. It's 70 speed, which is more than Ivysaur's 60, I'm pretty sure. It's got 100 base special, so that is pretty powerful, probably the highest in the tier. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Correct me down in the comments if you so wish. It has Wrap, which means that, well, if it hits, of course, you always gotta add that caveat, it has the ability to switch out out of awkward situations, which is quite handy. And finally, it has both H-Pump and Surf. Surf is fairly accurate. I think it's 95 base power, which is pretty strong for a water move. It's usually what you would have for late game water-type Pokemon. And Hydro Pump, which is not 100% accurate, but it is very powerful. Foofy? Really? Alright. Sorry, tiny dog. What about Ivysaur? Well, like I said, Ivysaur is far slower than Tentacool. Actually, Blizzard. Tentacle also has Blizzard, which threatens Ivysaur, of course. On a crit, it knocks it out, but I believe it's a 2-hit KO regularly. For Ivysaur, like I said, slower than Tentacle. It does have Sleep, though. And while Ivysaur is not the highest attacking mon, it can still do some pretty decent damage with Body Slam, and a chance at paralysis. That is important. But enough of my blabbering. Let's see what we got. Oh, we're going for the instant wrap from BT89. So is this going to be a switch, or is it just going to be whittling down? After all, we do know that Ivysaur can't be taken out by Charmeleon's Fire Blast. I wanted to say Flamethrower. Fire Blast from full health. It has to be chipped just enough for it to actually get the KO. But instead, BT switches into their Ivysaur, which, considering there was this is the second turn, there was a double switch. Voltorb and Ivysaur, I'm thinking that Voltorb is gonna go for Thunder Wave? Yes, okay. So, I can only assume that Ivysaur was going for the Sleep, but T is gonna switch back out. Oh, there we go. This does put BT's Ivysaur at a disadvantage. Here comes Ivysaur with Swords Dance. And I can't say I'm 100% certain if that's even a good, move to add to Ivysaur. Now, once again, prefacing, this is round 1. The tournament's all the way in round 6. There has been massive changes to the metagame and how people have evolved their gameplay since then, since this time right here. So, obviously, this is not conducive to what's going on now. But it is interesting to see how the metagame developed, and that's basically a part of the reason why I wanted to make this series is, well, besides giving just exposure to the metagame, obviously, but also to archive it. So, we can actually see this kind of stuff kind of in time. Not entirely sure if that actually works for this, but close enough, I guess. Anyway, so, Tentacle got switched in to Ivysaur, which, again, Blizzard does threaten Ivysaur. It's not a guarantee, but actually, you're paralyzed, right? Yeah. So, that actually kind of makes me wonder. So, Tentacle gets switched, SD. I suppose there is the chance of the Sleep Powder, but it has a chance to miss. And Ivysaur being probably the most valuable sleeper in the tier, while not being a very good lead, is probably going to be needed for later. So the switch is pretty obvious. The fact that Voltorb and Ivysaur switched in the same time is actually very good, because for anyone who knows Gen 1... Oh, wait, no, that happened earlier. Okay. But for anyone who knows Gen 1, trap switching is just very, very good. It's just basically early switch move. But it was a very, very good move by T. Now, we do have Beedrill, who does outspeed. I keep forgetting this. Beedrill actually does outspeed Tentacle, and it can threaten it with Twin Needle, which is a bug move. It's physical, so that's 2 hits, super effective damage on Tentacle, who is pretty frail physically. So Tentacle's gonna go out, right? Because they did miss. No, they're going for the Hydro Pump. Honestly, that's not too surprising, I suppose. Oh, the missed Hyper Beam with 2 attack. Maybe they don't have Twin Needle, because honestly, I kind of figured that's what they were going to go for. But anyway, we do have Ivysaur coming in. That's a switch, yep, and we got a substitute. Pretty common. Razor Leaf breaks it, but Rhyhorn's going to hit with Earthquake, Yes, because it's neutral damage. Ivysaur is poison and grass. Instant switch out, no point in Rhyhorn being in there. Body Slam coming in. Ivysaur is already paralyzed, so it's not really the biggest deal. But Ivysaur is going to paralyze it in return with Body Slam and instant paralysis. Swords Dance. I'm going to be honest, I find that a bit strange. But it does pick up the KO, so I suppose I can't complain. Now, we do have Meowth. Ivysaur's just going to be sacked, right? That's a bit weird. Another substitute. He's trying to bait the paralysis. I get that. But this is really, really risky, isn't it? Because you could have done this later, like by a large amount. Okay, well, Tease Meowth is at 2%, and Ivysaur finally goes down. That seemed like a little bit of a waste of time, admittedly. Now, to be fair, had paralysis actually procced, this would have been a great play. But because it did not, it seems like a very, very vast waste of effort. But BT is going to bring in their Meowth, and Tease Meowth actually beats the speed tie, with BT setting up the substitute. And here comes Beedrill. Slash goes in, and down goes the Beedrill. The sweeper is down. So, Voltorb is now coming out with Thunderbolt. That's a bit... I'm not gonna lie, that's a bit strange, if I want to be honest. Okay, hear me out on this, because I am kind of curious. If y'all have a better idea, or, have something y'all would like to add to it, comments. Be nice to discuss this. Okay, so my thought process is that you Thunder Wave the Meowth. Even at 11%, you're behind a substitute. But paralysis goes through substitute. Now, considering the metagame at this point, and it has been pointed out to me that other players most likely came from other generations, because this actually does have a cash prize. So a lot of people probably were very tempted, and they came into the tier just so they could attempt to win the money. So that's easy to say, and we've seen quite a few individual movesets that would make more sense later on in the generations to a degree. Which I have varying degrees of knowledge of that, so, I can't be the authority on that one. Mainly, I just play RBY-OU, but I digress. In this case, I just think it would have been made more sense to Thunder Wave the Meowth at that point. Sure, you'd be risking your Voltorb, but I don't know. A paralyzed Meowth just seems to make a lot more sense, especially considering your own Meowth is at 2%, so there's no guarantee that you're going to win that speed tie. But I have been wrong before. Let's move on. Rhyhorn coming in. Wait, Okay, so it was a double switch. There we go. A switch prediction. Shelter's now coming in, and it's going to be hit with Hydro Pump. That still does a lot of damage. Shelter's special is actually not that great, but it is... Wait. Explosion! Oh, yeah. Okay. I was about to say, I figured it was going to blow up, because that's one of the things Shelter does in this tier. It actually has a stronger explosion than Voltorb, which is both surprising and not surprising, considering. But I digress. And I still find I always found it funny that Explosion actually has, power points, despite the fact that when you use it. But anyway. Let's see. What do we got? Meowth coming in for T, and Rhyhorn That's not gonna knock it out. If it was a crit, it would. But its speed did go down. Not that that actually matters. And Rock Slide did hit. So what are we going to see? Charmeleon finally coming out. And finishes off with a Seismic Toss. Alright. Base 100 power for this one. Considering it's by level. Okay. So the first thing that comes to mind is, why the hell would BT do that? The second thing that comes to mind is speed drop is what kind of gets implied here. Bubble Beam has a chance to lower the opponent's speed. Now, there is a possibility BT did not register that bit and just went for Water Move, but I'm going to give credit here. He was probably trying to go for a chance of speed reduction, because Tentacool does not outspeed Charmeleon. And while Tentacool is at 100% health, there is always a chance that Hydro Pump misses. So I can see the logic behind it, and to be fair, I might just be giving too much credit, but I will move on from there. Seismic Toss coming out once again to get rid of Meowth. Is it Tentacle? No, it's the other Charmeleon. Alright, we're going for Slash. Is there a counter? No, it's just Slash, okay. Okay. Alright, down goes Charmeleon for T. BT is looking pretty good. Now, Voltorb is alive. And there it goes. Okay, so I want to check something right quick. I shall move my Mountain Dew. Volt. Yeah, there we go. Voltorb, and we're gonna go for Tent. And cool blank slate, and we shall give Voltorb Thunder. Okay, so yeah, BT's not losing this. Basically, my thought process was well, I suppose there's still a chance with a crit. An actual crit. Possibly? Maybe. I don't know. But if T had used Thunder, then it'd probably work. But I think a Surf would be able to take this thing out. Oh, Thunder Wave? Possible paralysis? Nope, just Surf, and down goes Voltorb. Alright, that's game. That's the game. Alright, so what do we get from this? Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is, I don't know, I still feel kind of odd about that Meowth substitute. Like, the fact of not Thunder Waving it. Now, again, maybe that wasn't the best play, but I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, that's just kind of automatic. Is there anything else? The Shelter bit. I want to check something right quick. Okay, Shelter coming out. It's going to be hit by a Hydro Pump. It's going to be at 56%. So, let me see here. Shelter, and we're going to put you at 56%. Yeah. And we're going to give Tentacool Hydro Pump. And no, it would have been a 2-hit KO. So I'm kind of wondering if perhaps if perhaps sacking Tentacool was the best option. Perhaps wrapping would have been a better idea? Whittle it down enough? I mean, it's not a guarantee, granted. Granted, it's not... I suppose there is a chance that it wasn't going to blow up, but... who knows? But... outside of that... it's not really too much I can talk about here. Well... how about we move on to game 2, which I can just click and move on to there. Alright, this is actually pretty good. We can just get this one out of the way. He says, not being 100% sure if this will be short or not. Sweats nervously. Okay. So, last time we had, and I gotta click back, Tentacool and Ivysaur. What are we going to see this time? Click. Coming out for BT is Tentacool once again, and Charmeleon this time from T. We've seen this quite a bit so far in the tournament. So, what are the matchup? Alright, Tentacool can OHKO Charmeleon from full with Hydro Pump if it hits. It can also 2-hit KO with Surf. I'm 95% sure about that one. I probably need to check the calc again. And I'm going to do that now so I don't wind up. Let's see, Charmeleon. Let's go with Surf. Let's put you at 100%. No. 100%. There we go. And I put Surf on you, dang it. Alright. Okay. Yeah, it is a guaranteed 2-hit KO Surf. Wrap is also an option, though at this point so far in the tournament, I would have to say that H Pump is just the better play. Because Charmeleon can outspeed you. If it's gonna stay in, it's going to use Slash, and it's gonna hit you hard. It's a 2-hit KO for Charmeleon to for Tentacool, which is why switching this in on a Charmeleon is never the best idea. The other thing that Charmeleon can do is Fire Spin, but I think that's just ultimately isn't worth it in a lot of cases. At least not early on. Maybe later. Maybe later on in the game. But I don't know. Just from what I've seen, it's a bit ill-advisable. But it's got its uses. Or will it be switched? Is either player going to switch? Let's find out. Instant Fire Spin coming out. So, yeah, let's see what's going on. At the very least, this Fire Spin is going to whittle down Tentacool later to be finished off. Although, it's not really doing much. And I'm trying to think here. How much does Slash have to do? Oh, okay, we gotta switch. Hold on. But I do want to check this. Slash. Okay. For this to work on a Tentacool, it would have to be down about 55.1%? Roughly? Am I reading this right? Probably not. To put it safely, you'd have to get him a lot further down. But this does mean that it's opened up for other damage later down the line. Now, with the other Charmeleon coming in, we've got a few options that may or may not occur. First off is the counter battle, if there is one. Charmeleon has also been known to use Seismic Toss. We've seen some Swords Dance sets that aren't really all that great, because there's not really a whole lot that Charmeleon has that can take advantage of it. Unless you want to count Mega Kick, which is like 120 power, I think. I might be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, it's highly inaccurate, which, again, granted, there's a lot of moves that are flying around that are inaccurate, but, moving on. Fire Blast is another one. Fire Spin we have seen. Sometimes we've seen Flamethrower, I'm assuming mainly for the accuracy. Let's see. Fire Spin does miss. And Instant Slash. Is there a counter? Nope, just a slash. Counter. No. Okay, so it doesn't seem like either pull... Oh! I spoke too soon, or nearly spoke too soon. BT goes for the counterplay and Oko's Charmeleon. Very nice, very nice. That first slash was set up. Brilliant! Let's go. Now with Charmeleon down. Now, to be fair, we haven't seen the rest of BT's team, and in comes Voltorb, who still looks like a Pokeball, which is actually kind of funny. So what do we got here? Voltorb is 100 speed. It's pretty dang fast. Well, it's the fastest thing in the tier. Can it finish off Charmeleon at 31%? Let's go ahead and have that up. And let's go for Volt. If nothing else, this allows me to look at the damage ranges later on to keep track of that. Okay, and let's go with Thunderbolt because it's the more accurate one. It has a 71.8% chance to Oko. So either Charmeleon can stay in, because that's a pretty high chance, or they switch to Rhyhorn or Ivysaur. Oh, what? I mean, to be fair, I guess they didn't feel comfortable with that. Or maybe they didn't know the damage count. Maybe they didn't think it would be strong enough. I suppose that's also a case. Now, this does mean that Tentacool gets switched in, is damaged, and Charmeleon can still outspeed the thing. And that actually wouldn't be too bad, I think, to get more damage on the enemy Tentacool. But, to be fair, BT might want to save their Charmeleon. Which they do not. They go for the slash and bring it down to 30. OMG! Here comes Wrap. And it misses. Wrap is a good tool when it actually hits. So, now T's got a decision to make. Does he keep Tentacool in? Does he sack it? Or does Charmeleon does he get switched? Is the question. No, he's going to switch. Here comes the Rhyhorn. In comes the slash. And Charmeleon going to stay in. That's going to go for a Fire Blast. Burn? No burn. Okay, no burn. Substitute from the Rhyhorn. Okay. That's a bit of a waste, honestly, if I want to be 100% honest with you. Huh. Well, Tentacool comes out after Charmeleon is sacked. And this is an interesting thing right here. We've seen 4 members of T's team, but we've only seen 2 from BT. That's keeping your resources under your sleeve, if I've ever seen it. I'm assuming, though, that there's going to be a switch. And that was decent damage on Voltorb. No, he's not going to switch. What is Tentacool going to do? Goes for another Surf and takes out Voltorb. 2 down, 2-1 so far. Meowth coming in. Switch to Rhyhorn, who's going to tank a slash. Yes, pretty standard. And switch to Tentacool. Going to take it out. No, Bubble Beam. All right. And it's going down to 10. Okay. Huh. This is interesting. I'm kind of curious. I am honestly kind of curious. Why not simply leave Tentacle out to take the hit? Why switch to Rhyhorn to tank the slash? Questions. So many questions. It does open up 2 Mons, though, to T's view. But we now have Hitmonchan, who actually can Oko Meowth from full with submission. It's an 80% accurate move. It's not 100%. And it's 80 damage as well. And there are a few Pokemon in the tier that resist it, Golbat being phenomenal at it. Beedrill's not too bad either, to be fair. It can also use Body Slam, Agility, and Counter. Ice Punch as well, if you happen to want to chance that freeze. You wouldn't really want to use it for its special, because that's like 35, but moving on. Meowth switched out for T, and Hitmonchan going for the Agility. I'm assuming it's going to be switched out again, unless they want to go for Body Slam or Ice Punch, because I don't really see, I don't know what the rest of their team is, so maybe Hitmonchan's just the better option to have Sleep. So I guess we'll see. Okay, it does go for the Body Slam. No Paralysis, though, and Sleep Powder hits. So will Hitmonchan be switched out? No, he's going to burn the Sleep turns, and Razor Leaf is going to do a ton. Because, like I said, 35 base special for Hitmonchan. Ivysaur coming out. Now that Hitmonchan is asleep, Ivysaur can't really do anything. It does Body Slam, and a 2 times attack Body Slam to Ivysaur. T's Ivysaur, and it's paralyzed. No retaliatory paralysis, and T's Ivysaur is going down. Now, who comes out at this point? That's a good question. We have, so far, Ivysaur, who's at 51%. We have a sleeping Hitmonchan at 42%, and a Rhyhorn at 87%. And one Mon that we do not know. That's a good question. We do have a Tentacle coming out. Blizzard will be able to take this out. No doubt. 100%. So the question is, does BT just sack it? Or is there something else we have not seen? Because I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, Blizzard's coming in that he'd want to switch to. Meowth. I know I said one Mon that we haven't noticed, but Meowth is basically just mandatory in the tier. It's such a good Mon here. And, at this point, you can see why. Meowth's got 90 speed, Tentacle 70, and anything that switches in is going to take a beating. And right now, T's Rhyhorn does not have the bulk, does not have the health to tank a Slash and Bubble Beam combo. Heck, it can't even take a Bubble Beam. So, at this point, it's just looking like a win. Why not? Yes, Slash. I guess he was trying to see if maybe there was going to be like a switch. But now that does leave BT's Meowth at a bit of a disadvantage. But he can win the speed tie. He has a chance to do that. But he does not. Meowth goes down. His Rhyhorn, though, is healthy. And he actually can Does Hitmonchan wake up? No? Okay. Doesn't have a chance to wake up. So, Rhyhorn coming in. It's going to be hit with Bubble Beam, since Rhyhorn's is just not very, speed is not very high. Now, speed tie time. Can BT win it? He does, and T goes down. There we go. Game 2. And that means that BT89 will be moving on further into the winner's bracket, while T, after their first elimination, will be going to the loser's bracket. that was actually pretty exciting. I like those battles. Probably not the wildest ones we've seen so far. I mean, we did see a Rage Golbat earlier on, and that's pretty wild. But, yeah, I mean, hasn't been bad so far. And I'm actually really curious to see what these guys will do in the future. For closing thoughts, so far this has been very fun, if nothing else. I'd like to give special thanks to Claire de Lune, however you wish to pronounce that. Jerome? I'm never 100% sure how to pronounce that. Beedrill Man and SSJ for their help in making these, both with general information, encouragement, and battle experience. Because, I mean, like I've said before in several of the videos, I'm new to the tier. So there's not a whole lot that I know outside of what I've done in my own testing and what I've actually been watching here. And from the information they've given me, I've been able to learn quite a lot. If you guys want to play 7U, check out the Smogon RBY Discord and head to the 7U chat. And heck, ask for a battle. Get to know the people playing. Heck, hang out with me. I'm there just about every day, or at least checking the chat, when, I have the time to do so. I'm not at work. From there, I think I'm rambling on at this point. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to the next match in a little bit. Maybe I'll do it tonight, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Hopefully not in a couple of days, because, I want to keep the momentum, I suppose. At any rate, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope to see you all next time. Until later, everybody, take care.